The activity of enzyme activity is a measure of, or it describes, how fast the catalysis takes place, how fast the enzyme can catalyze the reaction to convert substrate into product. Okay, the speed of the reaction, how fast the catalyzed reaction goes on. Okay, now what does this enzyme activity depend on? What are the factors that influence the enzyme activity? The first one is temperature. Okay, higher the temperature, faster reactions. Why? Because as the temperature increases, the reacting molecules move faster and they cause more collisions with enzymes, and so the reaction goes faster. Now, most activity of the enzyme, or enzymes are most active at optimum temperature, which is 30 degrees Celsius, or body temperature. Okay, above 50 degrees, so this is most optimum. Above 50 degrees, okay, the tertiary structure and then the shape, and thus the shape of the protein is destroyed. Okay, because the movement of the molecule is faster, higher energy movement of the molecules is faster. So at this temperature, the tertiary structure is destroyed, and once the tertiary structure is destroyed, the catalysis does not take place. Okay, so optimum temperature 37. pH, we all know proteins are enzymes. Okay, or enzymes are proteins rather, and they all are made up of amino acids, and we know that amino acids all have a certain pI, right? And once they are made into peptides, once they are all linked, all the amino acids are linked by peptide bonds, okay, the side chain of the amino acid is still preserved, which means that if you change the pH, the side chain can still be influenced by the change in pH, and if the side chain of the amino acid, or the R group of the amino acids, gets disrupted because of the change in pH, then the enzyme activity is also disturbed. So for the most part, in physiological pH of 7.4, most of the enzymes work for the most part, but there are others, such as the one pepsin, that works at acidic temperatures, but it's very specific. So for the most part, it's physiological pH of 7.4, and if the pH is changed, the enzyme activity also gets disrupted. The third factor is the concentration of enzyme and the substrate. Now, if enzyme concentration keeps increasing, rate increases. So if enzyme concentration, okay, enzyme concentration increases, rate keeps increasing, okay, for a given concentration of substrate. But if for a given concentration of enzyme, if you keep increasing the substrate concentration, rate increases to a certain extent and then it saturates off. Okay, so this is the maximum activity. So rate increases to a certain extent and then it saturates, because all of the enzyme at this point, all of the enzyme is completely consumed with the substrate, right? So at this point, all of the enzyme is consumed with the combined with the substrate. So at this point, at this concentration, okay, it saturates out. So for a given concentration of substrate, if you keep increasing enzyme concentration, reaction rate increases. But if you're increasing concentration of substrate for a given concentration of enzyme, reaction rate saturates out at a point.